I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to have a look at Legends of Venari doing a private race on Spectre VC, the Quantum Store. So this is quite a unique race, actually, which will be quite interesting when we look at the details. I've already covered Legends of Venari 2 months ago on the channel, a full 27-minute long research report. So if you want to know all the details, go and check that out. I'll leave a link in the description down below. But for this video, what is the race, how it's going to work? The pool opens tomorrow, May 5th. A total allocation size of $200,000. The valuation for the Quantum Store deal is 40 million. When we look at the actual announcement, there is one important factor, which is this is a SAFE agreement, which is simple agreement for future equity plus a token warrant deal. SAFE meaning investment for equity. Out of these, investors will receive 75% as token percentage of fully diluted supply. This is a complex long-term deal with ultra high risk. Be warned, know what you're getting into. There are 0 information points on the tokenomics just yet. This is a super early investment. Again, double warning. So they make very clear on the Spectre VC side that you have been warned of the ultra high risk investment opportunity that this is. You'll find all the numbers around the deal pinned in Legends of Venari. Feel free to discuss, do your own diligence, which I'm here just to give my opinion if you care about that at all in this video. So I have all the assets here, the Spectre research report. I have the Legends of Venari videos, gameplay, everything ready, the white paper, a summary from Ozone, which is a Neo Tokyo citizen that made a write-up of Legends of Venari. I'm not going to read everything, but I'm specifically giving him a shout out for his the good, the neutral, the bad summary, because we will utilize that. And then I have the website right here. So what you need to know about Legends of Venari is that is a Pokemon style game. You can catch Venari, which are these little small cute creatures, and basically it is already playable. So when I covered Legends of Venari before, the trailer was quite impressive. I like the art, I like how it's set up, the thoughts. However, on the gameplay side of things, I believe you could get an NFT, you could log in once a day, and based on that, you could catch a Venari, trap it, basically, depending on how you tease it in terms of the interaction. You know, with a Pokemon, you would have to damage it first before you can throw your Pokeball and capture it. I think that's how it went. It's a long time ago. But with these Venari, it's kind of the same. You need to tame it with fruit or lay a trap, and then you can capture it. And there's basically 3 different species. You got the green guys, the red guys, the blue guys, and then they work together a little bit in this cool, majestic world where these Venaris are the creatures, right? They interact together, which kind of makes sense. So here's some of the gameplay footage. Ooh, hang on, let me just mute this. So this guy has an alpha pass. If I remember correctly, there was these NFTs for these alpha passes. There were also guild passes. So what I like is that basically the team thought from the get-go, from the start, to focus to get guild players involved. We see a lot of these games, they don't focus enough on guilds. The most important problem, or like the biggest problem that we often see is that when they sell NFTs in games, a lot of people buy them for the appreciation, right? Your regular crypto investors. These crypto investors don't generally go into play your game, and they lack user beta testing, right? Or pre-alpha even. With this scenario, when they get guilds involved early, the scholars will play and basically test the game. You can fix the hiccups, and they might earn something, right, on your token. So that's a great way to prepare for mass adoption. These guilds can really kickstart. They can bring in 100, 500, 1,000 players at a time. And basically, these are the overview. You just saw the berries, so you have coins. You can basically buy the berries to get them. You can equip your rig, you can equip the bait, and then you need a certain rig level and a certain bait level to catch that specific Venari. The expedition is going to cost you 2 energy, And that's basically how it's going to work. Let me fast forward. So you can feed, play, fight with this little Venari. So you can definitely see it's definitely in the early stages, right, of the game. It's definitely a back and forth, like encountering a Pokemon. But in this case, it does look quite good. So on the art side of things, I think they're taking the right approach. And I think this is a streamer, basically. I don't have the sound on. But yeah, people are already engaging. People can already play it, right? Which is definitely a huge pro. Here we have another video. So they're doing quite well on getting people to document. So this is like a trailer, the sign up, the process, walking through it, people are being happy. It's like a little bit of a promo trailer, right? Happy catching their Venaris, which rarity will you find? And that's obviously the gotta catch them all kind of vibe, right? These games are very much focused on getting and collecting all of these different Venaris. So I think that's quite cool. They display that quite well. They have an open world concept, right? So right now it's still very much in the early stages where you can basically only, yeah, looks fine. I mean, looks interesting. Where you can only catch the Venari in the desktop module at the moment. But something like this for the future, definitely when the game expands, you need to give it time for development, right? And that's also obviously one thing you would have to consider, which I like, is that they have something playable, something you can touch. This is not a project with a 2-year roadmap until they release something, right? They have released something, it has been tested. However, I do think that it will take probably 2 years to develop the whole game, right? So as I said, the roadmap is being checked off, right? In terms of what they're progressing on. So the Christmas event, I think they need to keep it a little bit more up to date. The last modified 1 month ago, right? Because we're now in this period, but they have some boxes to go, but April has already closed. A removal of the most Venari from the alpha season, all right, see, so there's seasons, quests, opportunities. So basically they're pulling the people in to get it going. On the monetization level, we have a great team, okay, needs revenue, funding through Gilded Pass and Alpha Pass, so that was the NFT sale. And then secondary sales of past NFTs, 5% fee, the marketplace and fees for Venari, and introducing the token, right? The team, they have, I think, only one doxed guy, which is the founder, Jason Du from Toronto, Canada. Permanent, full-time, working on it almost a year already, so that's quite good. And then the CMO, lead game designer, they only have Twitter and he doesn't have a name, just Drew. All right. And then the team members. Okay, so yeah, it would definitely be a great thing, which was also mentioned in the Spectre Discord, that everybody would be doxed. I think that's very important. For a team, specifically for such a high-risk investment, is something that I would like to see, and I don't even think it's such a big deal, right? Andrew Choi is the advisor on this project, basically an engineer at Coinbase, and then a amount of experience on the software side, right? IBM, Snapchat, so definitely a good overview. With the passes, it's basically important to understand that the passes, here you go. The Gilded Pass is important for you to understand how that works. Let me open it. The Alpha Pass. So these were sold initially at 0.188 and they're right now 0.7. And they basically spawn more passes, right? You can obtain max Gilded Passes, generate 1 Gilded Pass per month. And then you get the Alpha Passes 0.145 and they were 0.11. So the Alpha Passes are not in huge demand. And the Gilded Passes, and then you get the base passes. And these passes are basically required to access the game season 1, which is basically the season that they're about to close, right? So the next season, I'm very curious to see how that works. But you can basically go through the white paper yourself, analyze what this game is like. You can basically see that they're quite heavy on the guilds. Which, as I explained before, kind of makes sense for such a game setup. It is, or at least it feels like to me, like a daily grind game, right? It's obviously fun collecting these Venari if you're a player, but if you're looking at it from the play to earn, not the play and earn, so the casual users would go for the Venaris, get the biggest collection, gotta catch them all, Venari. In that case, you would basically not care about the earnings that much and focus on the actual gameplay. If you're looking from a guild perspective, yes, the people might enjoy it a little bit, but they're grinding for the money, right? In that case, the guilds come into play, and then it's basically a perfect concept of a grinding game. You have X amount of energy per day, you can do X amount of Venaris, you can earn X amount of tokens, and they can basically pre-calculate based on the token value what has to be grinded out. And that's what guilds like. You know, I'm in contact with many guilds in terms of what they do, how they do it. And the economic overview in terms of, you know, longevity of the game, longevity of the economy is very important. So season 2 would basically be rolled out soon, right? Because they said here, add 1 new region, add brand, a new Venari for each region, quest crafting, that's coming up, and then season 2. So season 1 is not closing actually. I don't know where I hear that, but they're still running it. The vision is here, but the roadmap is quite vague, right? You can also see that the team, they have like art, 5 people on art, 3 people on development. It's not that big. 3 people only on the game development, which is 1 person is lore, right? And you got 2 people on the design, and then 2 people on the marketing. It's not a big team for such a game. So I think they did a great overall setup so far. But I have to agree with Spectre. It's definitely high risk, high reward in terms of what they are going to be doing, right? So do I think it's an interesting opportunity? Yes. I just don't necessarily understand well what the actual opportunity is. And nobody really has raised that question. There was some kind of question, but when they say this is a safe, simple agreement for future equity plus token warrant deal, SAFE is the investment for equity. Out of these, investors will receive 75% as token percentage of fully diluted supply. Would that mean that the investment of $200,000 raised by Spectre would be 75% of the supply? I think that would be way too significant for one party to hold. That's one thing, right? Which is great, because then I will invest in that case, because Spectre in that case would control the entire project, right? If you own 75% of the economy, external economy, right? You have huge influence over the project. Then you have the investment for equity. Are we referring to token equity, or are we referring to asset equity on the actual company behind Legends of Venari? So equity, in my case, if I talk with projects and deal flow, equity always refers to the company, and token refers to the cryptocurrency, right? And these two things, fully diluted supply, is not a relative one-on-one to real world US dollar equity value of the actual company. So that is one of my questions. As they said, it's kind of custom. It's definitely a long-term, ultra-high risk project, but it doesn't make it less interesting. It makes it even more interesting for me. The only thing I am a little bit worried about is that there are no tokenomics. However, if you would control 75% of the supply, it basically means that no matter how they design the tokenomics, you're in control of the project. It also makes me wonder if the Jason, the founder of Legends of Venari, knew what kind of deal he struck with Spectre, if they actually are going to take that much of the supply. There's nothing on the token, which is unfortunate. They have a lot of things about core value, and that's cool and all, but I would love to see something on the actual token, or at least some overview about the economy, right? So the economy, the lending is here, but that has to do with NFTs. The Karis credit, so here it goes over the token, right? But it's like general information, what the plan is, how they're going to do it, and that's great, right? But there's no advanced sketch of how the token would work, how the flow would work, etc., etc., etc. So here I'm going to just read out Ozone. I haven't read it, so it's the first time I'm going to read it. Usually I do that before the video, but I haven't. So the good. Legends of Venari utilize a battle-tested dopamine loop, which is simply creature collection. Yeah, I agree. That makes sense. 1.5k ETH of secondary NFT sales across 3,750 pairs currently available to play. Alpha steady floor, extremely engaged community. Trustless lend borrow system between managers and scholars. I think that is very important. So that's also in my research report. I was heavy on the guilds. They really thought that out. I hope they do the same with the tokenomics. Blockchain light. Anyone in blockchain gaming knows there's a lot of resistance to adoption. You only need an NFT to play. Okay. Fair. There's no pay to win. Neutral. There are several perks for playing in the alpha season, like alpha exclusive Venari, max energy cap going into season 1, and leveled Venari that give in-game bonuses. Good for those early, not so good for those later coming in. Okay, that makes sense. A little disadvantage, but I would say in crypto, specifically this early with the game, you always want to reward new people, right? The oldest holders, the first backers. So not new people, the new people from the start that supported the project. Ambitious game development and lengthy roadmap. Build up to an open world RPG with land ownership, developer SDK, and fully fleshed brand is awesome, but it takes time in crypto space. Impatient. 100% agree. So that's why, I judge daily 2 to 3 projects on YouTube, on camera, in regards to whitelist games, economies, tokenomics, and this white paper is quite poor quality. I said that 2 months ago, and I said it again, because I believe when you launch a white paper, some form of tokenomics have to be there, or at least an internal economy overview, right? How the token will flow through the actual game. The bad. Put a big asterisk next to this one, delays. Part of the Legends of Venari team is in Ukraine and have been impacted by the war with Russia. This delayed the end of the alpha season and features like the marketplace, but obviously this was completely out of the developer's control prior to this. Everything has been delivered on time. That's normal. That's just business, I would say. I wouldn't really say that's like a bad thing. That could happen in any country, right? Well, not any country, but it's like, it is what it is. Unclear direction of the token. 100% agree with him. Ozone, you and me are on the same path here. If it's even going to be created and what blockchain hasn't been publicly stated, token investment is an angle of an investment many want to pursue for blockchain game investment, and without concrete details, difficult to want to do so. If you made it to the end, okay, so I'm going to go to Twitter because this appears to be a smart guy and I'm going to follow him. So there we go. I followed him. He also has some cool art going on. Because I do think that he wrote like a good sum up of what this is about, right? The uncertainty, and that's basically what Spectre is stating and what I've repeated. This is now the 5th time. Ultra high risk, high reward, right? That's one thing you have to understand here. The agreement appears to be custom. I will ask some more questions what it actually means, how it works in detail, because I am curious about that. But overall, it looks like an interesting opportunity. So if you are not a Spectre Quantum Store member, how it works is you need to actually hold a Quantum Store pass from OpenSea to be able to participate. So these were once free, and now they're no longer free. But if you have one of these NFTs, Quantum Access Pass, 2000 in circulation, they are 0.607 Ethereum, which will run you about $1,736. Then you need to KYC after that. And if you make it through the KYC, you can participate on the Quantum Store in the pools that are open. Duly note that the last races had a 33% fee on participation between the token value and what you're going to pay. So keep that in mind. This is obviously a VC. This is not a launchpad, so the fees are a little bit higher. However, you would likely get access to projects that you might not be able to get anywhere else. So this is basically the Spectre Quantum Store review for Legends of Venari. If you want to know everything about the game, the gilded passes, how the Venari work, and the lore behind it, check my full research report in the description down below, which focuses on the white paper, which was recorded 2 months ago. Not much progress has been made in the game, but Ozone made us aware why that specifically is. In terms of Spectre, they have a very nice write-up, and I'm not going to cover much. I'm specifically looking at the good and the bad. Very small Undux team, no info on the token, very basic gameplay. Anything differs from Pokemon, no information how the crypto blockchain integration will happen, no concrete milestones. I agree. Game is not fully on-chain yet. All gameplay will take a centralized service, Pokemon inspired, despite the success of this genre. Backers listed appear comprised entirely of gaming guilds and not VCs. Much of the game lore development community dependent and can lead to delays. Okay, I don't think this is a huge problem, but they also say under debate. I do think this is a big problem. There should be some VCs on board to bring the power in, but Spectre is now on the block. Build on Unity gaming engine, playable on both PC and mobile. NFT passes will be landing giveaway. Okay, opportunity Discord is active and good engagement. I think this is one of the also interesting ones. So we're not going to review the whole report, because if you want the juicy stuff, you need to buy a Quantum Store NFT. Join the Spectre Discord and you can basically find all the information you want and perhaps participate right there. If you want to hang out with me and discuss IDO projects, VC projects, feel free to join my Discord through the link in the description down below. Digits Club, you're very welcome. And we can talk shit about projects, tokenomics, and much more. This is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Real quick before you go, if you're into IDOs and Launchpad, check out my software TrackDigits.com, free to use while in beta. It tracks all your IDO vesting so you never miss a claim again, integrates with Google Calendar and sends you a notification to your phone 10 minutes before your claim happens. No longer will you have to work with Google Sheets, Excel, keep everything up to date in an automated software. The claims, the vesting, the profit and loss, the statistics, everything included in one easy to use software. You can use it for free while in beta. All I ask in return is that you give me some feedback on how we can improve this platform. You can find a link to sign up for free through the link in the description down below. I hope you give it a shot. Let me know what you think. I'm very excited in building this platform together with you, TrackDigits.com.